Last night, Omaha beat St. Thomas to win the Summit. There are plenty of Penn State connections with St. Thomas because Phil Eston, who had been here, and Phil's a great administrator, better guy. Jamal Griffin, who's one of the, in fact, I saw Jamal when Penn State played football at Minnesota. Jamal, of course, was here as well. They have helped, the two of them along with many others, bring St. Thomas from Division III to Division I.
Which is a humongous leap.
Right? John Tower is in his 14th year as the head coach at St. Thomas. He was, 14 years ago, a psychology professor and doubled as the basketball coach. Under the archaic rules that it's
the NCAA
it is amazing that the NCAA, it's just they can't get out of their own way. Will you just adapt to the times?
Yeah.
Now, Omaha won, so it doesn't matter.
But
St. Thomas, if they had won, would not have been eligible for the NCAA tournament because of the transition period.
Yes.
Either you can play or you can't.
Make it make sense. There should be may I offer a solution here? There should be a transition period to get into the NCAA Division I versus after you're in it. So to get in the Division I, you should be able to meet requirements, which they clearly did.
All you have to do is meet requirements.
So they met requirements to get in, so why aren't they good enough to just start them?
Right.
Like what?
Okay, now if you were, where you would be held back would be in most transitions, you still have some games on your schedule that are not Division I games. For example, when Lemoyne made the transition to Division I, one of the teams they played right away was Penn State.
Yeah.
And then they played I think they played Georgetown before they played Penn State. But then if you looked at their schedule, you're like, okay. But if you're playing in a conference schedule, especially in a one-bid league, if you win the conference tournament, you should be able to go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying pick them as an at-large team, because nobody in the Summit has ever been an at-large team.
Yeah. You'd have to be undefeated to have a chance.
They just get out of the way. Okay? The NCAA needs to get out of the way. Stop with the archaic rules. I mean, you want to know why Pete Maravich doesn't have 6,000 points in his career?
Why is that, Steve?
Because he wasn't allowed to play as a freshman. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was not allowed to play as a freshman. Oh, and by the way, couldn't dunk.
Yeah.
It was against the rules.
Which is funny considering he could dunk a basketball blindfolded with one leg tied to the other one.
Right? They do everything at a snail's pace.
Yep.
Right? And just get out of the way. Okay? I don't mind that there are rules. Okay? I could see them putting in a rule, hey, in the NCAA tournament, you have to play X amount of Division I schools to be considered for an at-large.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't going to matter. They're in the Summit League. The Summit has had exactly 0 at-large bids. Now, it doesn't matter. Omaha was the number one team in that conference all season long.
The Mavericks won their way there.
And Omaha won their way in. So, in the end, it doesn't matter. It sorted itself out nicely. Okay?
Yeah.
But
the fact that Omaha went into the game knowing they were already in the tournament, which was the whole deal, because I believe the game for St. Thomas had happened first. So as soon as Omaha won that semifinal game, they knew they were in the tournament. Right. So it basically meant that final game didn't matter as much.
Right.
Didn't matter almost at all, except just for a game for the players to not get hurt in, basically, is what happened.
Right, exactly. So last night, Wofford won its way in. They won the SoCon. Sun Belt was won by Troy, beat Arkansas State. Jerry refers to them as Arkansas.
Steve, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Speaking of teams.
Tonight, St. Mary's will play Gonzaga.
Yes, which is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
You know what else goes on today, Steve? A game with a team that went 1-11 down the stretch and now finds themselves at 16-19 with a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. The Delaware Blue Hens went 1-11 in the CAA. With their first of those 11 losses was against Hofstra. This game was on January 23rd in Hampstead, New York. They won one game against William & Mary and then found their way as, I believe, the 12th seed in the CAA out of, I believe, 14 total teams.
Yikes.
They then have rattled off 4 wins against Stony Brook, Campbell, William & Mary, and the 1 seed Towson, and now find themselves against UNC Wilmington in the final, have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament at 17-19. This is why I love March Madness, Steve. This is why I love the basketball tournaments when they come around. This is why.
Well, this is why Penn State. Okay, I haven't talked about this.
Oh, the Big Ten and ACC?
Right. I mean, this is the Big Ten's version of relegation. I don't know what it is. When they came out with this, I don't know, 9 months ago, I was adamantly against it. Not because I thought Penn State would be in this position. I didn't think Penn State was going to be in this position. I thought Penn State was going to finish between 7 and 10.
Yeah.
At worst.
Yeah. And then they found themselves in this position
At worst.
where them, Nebraska, and Washington miss out.
You are a conference awash in cash. You can't afford to have everybody there? I know. Okay. Don't tell me, this has always been the running joke that Sean Morris, Dick Girardi, and I have had, right? And I believe because you've been at a couple of dinners now, you've heard this. The running joke we have is, quote, it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
Now, for the Mike Rhodes, the James Franklins, the Pat Crafts of the world, it is about the kids. Right? For the conferences, for the NCAA, there is no way in heck it's about the kids.
No.
No way. Big Ten, you don't like it? Excuse me, you got 45 players sitting at home right now because it's not about the kids. It's not about Delaware getting to the championship game of the Colonial. Okay? It's not about the kids. Okay?
Doesn't make sense.
Okay. Of the 3 teams out, first of all, Washington played almost everybody tough down the stretch, including an overtime game with Oregon. Right? Penn State won 3 of its last 5. Okay? Nebraska slumped down the stretch. Okay? Don't tell me it's about the kids. It is not at the conference level or the NCAA about the kids. It's about contracts. It's about money. It's about money. It's about contracts.
You know what the funniest thing here is,
and
Steve?
this conference is got a has the money is flowing off a conveyor belt.
Yeah. I'm sitting here staring at the men's tournament bracket for the Big Ten. I have it pulled up in front of me. All you have to do, if you're the Big Ten, is add in one extra game to decide who gets in, because you have currently the top 4 seeds get the double bye. The top 5 seeds get the one bye. So what you do, instead of 5 teams, you make that 4 teams. You knock one team down a peg. So it's 4-4.
Sure.
And then everyone else that adds, you then add in an extra game. So then all of a sudden there's one more team added in, and then add another play-in somewhere else with the 2 lowest seeds. Maybe 17 and 18 have to play to get in against the top of that first tier. And all of a sudden you add in 2 new teams.
But you don't want to rent the
building somewhere else.
You want to rent the building for one more night? Because there's only 3. There are only 3 games coming up. What, tomorrow?
Yeah,
3 games tomorrow.
You have Northwestern Minnesota, Iowa, Ohio State, USC, Rutgers. You add in 2 games to get into that bottom round. That adds in 3 teams because you add in the 1 games to get into where like the Indiana Oregon bracket is. You had 1 there. You had 2 in before.
You can't rent the building one more night.
It's crazy.
Okay,
it would solve literally the entire problem.
Okay, your conference is a cash register.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have the building one more night.
It does not make sense. It does not make any sense at all.
Of course it doesn't make sense. But don't ever tell me it's about the kids. It's not about the kids.
No.
Okay? For James Franklin, Mike Rhodes, Jeff Cook, Erica Dombach, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is about the kids. Mike Gamboni, it's all about the kids. Yeah. Okay? For Pat Kraft, it's all about the kids. It is. That's why they do the fundraising and everything they do, because they want to make sure they get what they need. The conferences and the NCAA especially, okay? Don't ever tell me it's about the kids. You guys are all about cash registers, and the kids are a means to an end.